Friends, I've been having to think about Lyndonville. Welcome back to Rinard, by the way. I think we need to expand Lyndonville and make it its own true little city. So we're going to go ahead and build in a local church right here on the lane. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add in some of the UK shops, right, to facilitate them having their own little shop area. And then we're going to continue off the back here and have some good solid housing. But I think we're going to do it in such a way, friends, that this actually will be more close to what we do suburban wise in the United States in our world. I'm deciding though. I may change my mind yet. But if we do this, we can do some of the nice solid row housing, right? But I don't want it to be bad blocks, so we're gonna have to do weird little offsets like this. So we'll lose some ground there, but we can do these lovely medium density row houses or terraced housing, which I think would also work. I think I like the row housing though, because that is going to be nicer as far as giving us some good solid spaces. Look at that. Look at that. And the high street's coming in. But you know what's missing, friends? You know what's missing? I'll tell you what's missing. A very beautiful, lovely pub. The local pub. But we'll put that in right here on this road, right there, or over here where I can fit it in properly. But a nice little pub right here in town for people to be able to come and hang their hat at the pub. There you go. Nice little pub. But we're gonna have to expand Lyndonville's borders, because if we don't, we will not get the proper coverage. So let's go ahead and we will restrict church to Lyndonville. There you go. Look at that. We got a nice little town going there. Now, we've grown our cities. We've got that wonderful petroleum building that we need to put in. And see the benefits that brings. Let's look at that real quick. There's some others here that I want to do, like these country hotels, because it's going to improve attractiveness. It's going to reduce import costs. It's just going to be delightful all the time. And the pubs do their own bit there, as you can see, because they reduce import costs, right? They help. But look at this. Look at the help from this. +2 industrial efficacy, 5% interest in university education, and 1% or +1 university graduation chance citywide. And we're going to need that. But we're also going to need to have some good, solid ability of industry to get in and out where it needs to go. So friends, we're going to come here and we're going to do a little step up, and we're going to use it to cross the lines here. Look at that. So we've got that's built, and now we can bring it down and connect in. Right, we can do the same thing on this side and connect it down and bring it across. There you go. Do similar here. Yeah, I was afraid that was what's going to happen. Now, let's square it off inside here. What do you think? Need to connect some roads through here. Now, before we get too crazy and start zoning things, let's put in our petroleum plant. Because we absolutely need to have that. Let's look at how big this puppy is. We're going to turn off the snap so I can figure where I want it to sit. It's one of these that looks big enough that I can kill the grid. Yep, we'll have to kill the grid right there. So we'll do that. We'll come back and put the grid in later. So, turn back on the snap. Put this in so that it's reasonable. Alright. I mean, we're right next to the area here, so you would think that we would want to have some good solid petroleum connections, right? That's what I tell myself. But also, you know, we may need to have another connection out to the highway over here before too long. Because I have a feeling we're going to overwhelm our little roads here. So, we'll have to figure that out. But in the meantime, friends, here we go. We're just going to paint the whole area and let industry come in as the need arises, as the desire builds. And that way we have a whole industrial area, rip-roaring, snorting, raring to go. And let's see what that does to our unemployment now. I dropped it a couple points already. Look at that. That's a good sign. Whew. This city of ours, it's growing big, but friends, I don't know if my computer can handle it much longer. It's getting pretty toasty on my poor little computer here. We'll make it work for now, but just be warned, I may have to shelve Rinard for a little bit if I can't get better processing capacity. Because I'm afraid I'm going to toast my computer. This is not an easy game on computers. But we'll put in some new housing right there. That should help. Expand out the downtown. Another thing I've been wanting to do is actually come over here and expand out our area here for our university area. Am I doing it all kind of cattywampus? Yeah, I am actually. Remember that word from before? Now, why did I do it this way? Because oftentimes these residential areas pop in and they're their own special flavor of unique. But let's get some additional parks going here. We need the larger parks. This hedge park would be a delight, I think. I think we could even do like that. And a matching... Nope, it's not going to work, but that's okay. We've got the dog activity park that could fit in here nicely. We've got the corridor park, which I think could work well too. Stop it. Hey, quit it. Thank you. Look at that. And the whole idea being we want to have nice little paths connecting and respect nature and do beautiful things. And then you can go and just be difficult and make my life just painful because you are terrible and I don't like you. There you go. That's how I feel about the way the paths are not working there. Alright, friends, give me just 1 second. We're going to zoom back out and get a beautiful view of this area for a minute here. I just like the look of that from up here, don't you, friends? But let's build in some housing, because these professors are going to want some real houses. But I want to put in one more park. Deciding. I like the tiny parks. I think they're pretty. I think they're nice. But I feel like we need to have... You know, the Park Cafe Pavilion is a nice little attraction, but it just doesn't fit there. Can I fit the Ring Park? I can. Let's put the Ring Park then. Just, you know, something to make it pretty over here. Okay, let's build in some houses. Let's build in some European-style houses. And I'm just going to lay them in. I'm just going to flood the area. It'll be whatever size it will be. We're not too worried about it. We just want housing over here for these folks to live near the university. And then I'm going to put in a little more of the... You know what, we're going to do little corner shops here if we can. That and like that, and then I'll come back and we'll do more of that there. Let's see what that does. I just think that'll be nice. A nice little extra plotting out area, but we need to make sure it's covered. It is covered, but it's by the city center. Let's see how that handles it. Probably be fine. Alright, look at that. Look at how that's already just filled right in. But we need some offices, it says. Some office work. Which we can do. In fact, we could probably, conceivably, go ahead and let's just expand this. Let's see, this is Holly Street. Unless it's renamed itself since the last time, which... As we all know, the streets around town here like to rename themselves on a whim. Thank you for that. Alright, so there's Holly Street extended. Can we extend... What is this one? Anchor Street, because, you know, there's all sorts of anchorages right off this area here. Will not work with either of those. We'll take out that building. Let's just reduce it. We don't need it to be that big of a road. Correct? Of course correct. Why did you do... Why? 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 Someone in the city planning office must be, you know, hopped up on goofballs, you know? Hey, don't you know there? Hey, stop being crazy, eh? We might have to send you over to Shakopee for them crazy days. Name the movie, put it in the chat. I would love to see if anyone can name that movie besides me and my kids and my sisters, maybe. Alright, we got those commercial buildings set for there. We can do a couple bigger ones there. We can do commercial there because there is a commercial need, and then we will just do the big, tall, honking office buildings right there. Alright, let's see. Alright. Look at that going in. I'm just curious to see how that turns out. Let's throw it on fast speed. And we can look in the meantime at our production. We're down a little on grain. So we could probably put some more grain in. I'm still thinking over here at Agafie de Pay. We've got tons of accidents and traffic jams. Why? Let's look at this. Let's figure this out. Why are we having a traffic jam? Why are we having so much traffic? We do want to make it kind of miserable for folks to come in here. Because, you know, we don't want them to just, you know, we just don't want... we don't want it to be an easy process for them. You know, we want them to have to really work for it, because if they just get it easy, they're just gonna, you know, just take the easy route and just fly into town fast, which none of us want, right? So let's make sure we've got traffic lights at these intersections, because we do want to slow them down. Alright, good. And again, that's good. Let's come up here and look. Yes. Yes. Okay. Why are we having a traffic jam? What is the issue with that? We got a bunch of people changing lanes is the problem. Can we expand it? Should I expand it? That I don't know. Let's give it a go. We'll try expanding it out to see if we can ease that in. Some of it's people moving in, I know that for sure, because that's what people do. Why are... Oh, is this all just secret through traffic that I don't want? Because I want the highway to be the faster route. I don't want people to just cut through town here. Look at that. That all grew in so nicely. And look at all these houses here. The professing neighborhood. Look at that. That's just nice. Just lovely. We've got... Look at that! So many! We could add an expansion wing, but it's only on the one side, so it looks kind of icky. But that would allow for 2,500 more students at the university. We've also got this one that's only got 187 students, so I think we let this one fill up and then see what people do. Geological Research Center's doing well. Server Farm's doing well. That's, you know, the campus server farm, right? Let's see how the college here is doing good. Oh, look at that. We got 10,000. Now, we could expand this puppy out easy. That would give us an additional 2,500 students, and it's a nice added wings to it. So that would make it, you know, look more pretty. Pretty. Look at that. Holsteinberg. Look at that. Oh, is that turning out nicely? Although that's kind of weird, just having the one building there. Really? The one singular building there. That's just silly. And it's gonna do that too, because it thinks it needs to be... Alright, so this is how we get around it. We're gonna fake it and break it and see if we can get other buildings to plop in here because they're facing the main road. There you go. Sometimes you gotta just trick the system. Just looking nice, friends. Thanks for being here with me. Let's see. We don't have anything on the back side here. Why is that? Let's do this. We will run a path along the back here. And secretly force things so that it's, you know, not just facing the main road. We don't need those to be necessarily, but I think it would actually be good to have them be commercial zones, you know, because people will want to shop, and that does centralize it a little bit. I wonder if we could add some more by possibly... I think we'll leave Lindenberg to do its thing now, though, because we've got these new buildings going in, so that's going to add some commercial options. What has that done to our unemployment? We're down to 16%. Yeah, we're forcing it a little bit, I think, but hopefully... Really? Guys? We've got all these here. They're all processing tons and tons and tons. How's our... Oh, gosh, look at that. We are picking up a whole bunch more people. How many are in the columbarium? Storage capacity of 1,000. That's why we're at 6,000. So we might have to add more columbariums, but that's okay. That's what they're for. I'm just liking that. I wonder if Monsieur Dulac has any desire to expand do that into this area here that has previously been unrecognized. Do we have post offices? Let's look really quick. Do we have post offices? We do. But Lindenville does not. Let's rectify that little oversight and give Lindenville its own. We'll select the operating district of Lindenville for it. That will help take care of that. Let's look at our development points. We could invest in some of these other power plants, which could be useful for us, especially because we have been so reliant on external power. We've got that. We could do a disease control center. We could do a health research institute. That could be a university option for us. Industrial waste processing. We could get a radio telescope, a large hadron collider for the university. That would be interesting. Increased interest in university and higher demand for electronic software, which we could do. We could do the disaster shelters, which we probably should do. We could do the CIA, because why not? We could do airports. You know, we could do an airport. Where would we put the airport? Let's talk about that. Because for that matter, we could do an international airport, but I think we need just a regional airport because we're not that big. But we could unlock tourist attractions, so I'll do that. And let's see about a satellite uplink, because we are becoming kind of a center of all sorts of regional development here. So maybe we should put that in. Let's look at this. We've got the option to put this in plus 50 entertainment, plus 20 network capacity, plus 10 attractiveness citywide. Costs us 160 grand a month. You know what? I think I want to have this. Let's put this in. Let's put this in here. We'll put it over here next to the university to make it more appealing to people. And it can be part of the server farm complex here. There you go. Look at that. That's just gonna roll across. Look at that. Happy people everywhere across. That's great. So that will help. Nice little uplink there. We've got the ability to put in an airport, small one. We could do international if we wanted to. How big is this? That's a small airport, friends. Do we want to risk the airport? Because look at how big this small airport is, and look at the flight path that would do. We could do it. I don't know if I'd like it. It could be doable. I don't know if we're that big yet, though. We've unlocked it. It's there. We can consider it. We don't have to do it. I am going to, though, however... Well, thanks. That's wonderful. Let's go ahead. We're going to actually do another road here. And we're going to connect... Sure, I didn't want to destroy that house or any of these houses. Why are you doing that? Okay, that works, I guess. We'll go ahead and we'll extend this over here, and we will connect good old Wolfenburg over here to this road here, which is good. We need that, and maybe we can put in a little village here, because there are little villages. That is the norm, or at least it should be. We also need to set up something here, because, we need that tourist attraction. So we've got a medieval castle, water park, bronze statue, observation tower. I'm thinking a water park would actually fit well over here in Bremenberg, because they have all this stuff here already for good, our good friends, the lodging industry. So why don't I put it... You know what, I'll put it right here. I'll put it right here on the edge of this road here on the ring road for Bremenberg, and that way we can have some nice tourist interest, and they'll be able to participate and do all sorts of lodging, and that will take care of these low employment buildings here. While we're here, friends, let's go ahead and finish building out this area here. with a lovely set of row houses, because that would just fit perfectly with everything that we've done historically. So let's do the row houses. Let's do it square though, please. Thank you. Think up. Appreciate it. Think up. Alright, we can't really put the road through. I mean, we could. It'll take out those buildings. That's my concern. So we won't do that. But we will go ahead. We will put in the row houses. These neighbors will just have to deal with it. I'm going to go ahead and insist on them being the shorter row house lengths by zoning it carefully, prodigiously. Clearly that didn't work, but I tried. I did try. Yeah, that's great. Alright, so we'll expand that out. Keaton Planning Associates have, of course, come to bear and have expanded as promised in this area. They're going to also provide a park as part of their promise to the City Fathers to keep the area beautiful and accessible. And of course, it's going to be a dog park, because who doesn't like a dog park, except that there's this school across the street, and we do want the kids to have somewhere nice to hang out. And we can also get away with doing a little squared off park there. That will also make it pretty. And we can possibly additionally, that doesn't go that way. Does that go? No. One of these is long. I can't remember which. Lastly, do that one. We're just putting in a bunch of parks. We need some parks in our little cities, I've realized. We didn't do any parks. That is a shame. Let's fix that. We can put this one here, hopefully not disrupting any of the buildings, because that would be a tragedy. Tragedy. Sure, we'll do a chirplet park. I have no idea what that would do, but sure, why not? Put that one there. Look at that. Gussied that place right up. Right pretty light. Alright. We need some in the downtown area. Let's make it delightsome and beautiful. We could do a community pool. We could do a soccer field. We could do a basketball center. I think a basketball center would be a very welcome addition in this area. We'll plant it right here. But we'll plant it so that the roads could come out further if we wanted them to. Won't that be nice? That will be a delight, I think. Let's make something pleasant, though, by adding in a square pocket park if we can fit it. Can we fit it without taking out buildings? No, we cannot. We'll figure something else out. That fits perfect. Right there. It helps. Every little piece helps. Let's come over here and look at our cities here. We're going to need to have a nice little playground park. We could have a dog park right off the main road. We could have one right here too. Let's see. You know what? They're going to get the dog activity park here. And on either side, I'm going to go ahead and give Lindenville a much needed expansion, because people want to live where it's nice. So let's get these other parks in quick. They don't have to be big, they don't have to be snazzy, they just have to be something that the locals can enjoy. And I think that this park right here is just being silly. Alright, that takes care of Ujiak. Let's add in a hedge park here, Saint-Agathe-des-Prés, but apparently it needs to have a little more lovin', because apparently where I had that was not enough. How about that? Does that... Oh, you are just needy. Just needy. How about that? Does that guss you up sufficient? Alright, let's come over here to Covenham. How's Covenham doing? Can we get away with a... do that? We can add... We could probably add one of these line parks if we're careful. Yeah. See, look, right there. Look at that. That extends Pleasant Lane in a way. Oh, isn't that nice? Let's see. We've gussied them up largely. Oh, Aubigny. Do you need something here in Aubigny? Oh, nope, you've got that right there. I wonder, Aubigny-des-Prés. Would that be a nice little addition? I think so. But apparently we don't have enough sewage for you guys. That's bad. Let's put a pause there, friends. We're gonna have to stop there because apparently we don't have enough sewage coverage. Because we apparently are not collecting enough there. Well, friends, that complicates matters, doesn't it? We're going to have to take some extra steps. But friends, that's going to have to be next episode. So friends, until then, let's hope things don't get too poopy for Rinard. Thanks for being here. Glad to have you. We'll see you next time here in Rinard. Bye.